Today, I want to talk about 10 things that you might be doing that is making your Retin-A cause your skin to have more irritations or making you more sensitive, especially as you get older. So, hey, I'm Jen. I'm a medical esthetician. I've owned my own med spa for over 20 years, and I love helping women have better skin. So, specifically, as we age, a lot of people start using Retin-A, and I'm talking about prescription strength Retin-A here, not just over-the-counter retinol, though if that irritates you, then these tips can help you as well, or maybe give you ways or ideas to make your product even stronger if you don't want to get a prescription or you can't afford a prescription. Let's get started. All right, so number one thing that you might not realize, if you're applying Retin-A to damp skin, so you're just washing your face and it's not fully dry, it's going to make the Retin-A stronger. So if you don't want to make it stronger, then I would, pat your skin dry, make sure it's totally dry before applying your Retin-A. Okay, so not on damp skin. And especially number two would be really be cautious after you get out of the shower. So now I don't really use steam in my facials because I was trained years ago by plastic surgeons, and through all my sciencey background, it can dehydrate the skin if it's used improperly. It can irritate people. It irritated my skin, so I just don't use it. But it does open up your pores to allow other products to penetrate in. I don't use it in facials because now with technology, there's so many ways to get products to penetrate in more. I don't need to use steam. But when you're taking a shower, obviously the steam's opening up your pores. And if you get out and apply on wet skin, that's like a double whammy because your skin's wet and, now it's opened up because of the steam. So you would either want to just make sure your skin's completely dry, and I would wait a little bit for your pores not to be so open. So that's so hard to say how long that would be person to person, but I would wait a good 20 minutes to 30 minutes for your skin to calm down, not be warm, you not be warm as well, because heat can also increase penetration of products. So that would be number two. Okay, so number three would be layering your product wrong. So using your Retin-A after too strong of a product. Now, if you want to increase the depth of penetration of your Retin-A, then this is one thing. But if you're having irritation, then it could be because maybe you're using the wrong cleanser or you're using a toner. So let's talk about that. So obviously there's different types of cleansers. You have creamy cleansers, gel cleansers, acid cleansers, cleansers that have exfoliating beads in them. So if you are really sensitive or your Retin-A is making you feel dry and sensitive, then you want to not break down your skin in order to make the Retin-A not penetrate as deeply as much. Okay, so that would mean using a creamy type of product. So a creamy cleanser. Okay, so if you think about it, like when I'm applying chemical peels on a person, and if they're really sensitive or I haven't done their face before, then I'm more cautious. So I'm not going to strip down their skin as much as possible. But someone that wants to have a really aggressive treatment and have peeling, then I'm going to strip down their skin as much as possible, which would involve me like using an acid-based cleanser and then an acid-based toner type of product. And to some regard, when I do medical peels, we even use acetone to completely strip the skin before we apply the chemical peel, because that's going to allow for like the deepest, most absorption of the product. But if someone's coming in and they're more sensitive, but they still want to get a peel, then I'm not going to strip down the face as much because I don't want them to have a reaction. So I'm going to use a creamy kind of cleanser, and maybe not an acid-based toner, but maybe, just like an herbal based toner that, is a derivative of salicylic acid. So like a willow bark toner. Okay. So I'm basically buffering how the acid or the active is going to act on the skin. So you're going to do that the same with your Retin-A. If you are having irritation and you tend to use like a creamy cleanser and a washcloth, the washcloth is actually like scratching the surface of the skin, which is going to irritate you. So you would use a creamy cleanser, and just like your hands, or a soft cloth, be like super gentle with your face and your skin when you're cleansing it. And then I wouldn't even apply anything after, especially like a toner. But now there's so many options. So people have like hydrating essences. And I know it gets really complicated. So I just want you to keep it simple, especially if you're having irritation. So creamy cleanser and your hands, or something super, super soft to cleanse your face. Wait for it to dry. And then put like a pea-sized amount of your Retin-A on. Okay. So My number 4 tip when we're talking about acids is using exfoliating cleansers. So you wouldn't want to use anything, and exfoliating would mean acids like alpha hydroxy acids, glycolic acids, lactic acid, salicylic acid. So if you suffer from like oily skin and acne and you use active acids, then on the days that you're using your Retin-A, then I would suggest using a creamy cleanser. So something like Cetaphil or CeraVe or a chamomile cleanser, or just something very, very gentle and very, very creamy is something that I would use. So nothing with like beads in it. Don't use anything like harsh, like any kind of devices before you're going to put your Retin-A on. Okay. Okay. So another thing that could affect the Retin-A is over moisturizing before you use the product. So this won't necessarily cause an irritation, though it could if you are like layering a bunch of products and you're sensitive and then you put the Retin-A on after. The combination of the products together could cause you to be having a reaction. So again, you want to just try and keep it simple and basic. The number 6 thing would be not waiting in between the layers of your products. So again, similar to the last one, if you're over moisturizing, it can cause you to have a sensitivity. But say you are layering your products and not giving them time to penetrate, or again, you're layering them incorrectly, then this can cause issues with absorption and also issues with sensitivities. So want to be cautious in layering things before the Retin-A, a lot of things especially, because we don't know like what the interaction is going to be for you. So if you're having sensitivities, this could be another reason why. Okay, so the number 7 thing is kind of self-explanatory, but you are maybe using the Retin-A too frequently, okay? Or maybe it's too, like you're putting on too much even. So I would then obviously cut back as an option to reduce your irritation as well, or you could use less. So it's so hard when they say like, what's a pea size amount, especially if you're like bringing it down. A pea size amount isn't really enough. So I feel like maybe people use it more often and they think that they're going to get better results. And then as soon as like they get through that like irritating phase, and they're going to have like amazing skin, but that's not necessarily the case, especially as we get older, like our skin is more sensitive. So you want to really be careful with using it too frequently. And if you're irritated, then just cut back until the irritation subsides and then try adding in more days. So you're really going to have to like play with that. Okay, number 8 would be not using a sunscreen. So obviously, Retin-A makes you more photosensitive. So then if you're not using a sunscreen and then you get a little bit of sun exposure, that could be also, dehydrating your skin, drying out your skin, causing more dryness and redness and irritation just from like a little bit of sun exposure. So it's really important to wear sunblock all the time. The sun can come through, the aging rays come through the cars, come through your house windows, and you just don't know really how your skin is going to respond. And it can respond differently, like month to month, season to season. So these are just things that you need to be aware of. And I'm going to give you tips on how to help combat some of these things. Number 9 would be you're using too high a concentration of Retin-A. So maybe, you thought you could handle it and then you can't, and your doctor prescribed you a higher percentage, or you just didn't want to start at a lower percentage because you didn't think that it was going to work. But sometimes more is not better. So starting lower and going slower is always better. And even in my peel training, we always, start low and then progress higher. So I would say, and especially like if you, like me, I've gone on vacation because here Retin-A, if it's not prescribed for acne, can be very expensive, like $100 a tube, which can last a long time. But if I can like go to Mexico and get it for $15, then I would like stock up and get it. So in a lot of other countries, it's, inexpensive. So maybe you're, using the wrong percentage. I've also noticed when I get it in other countries, like here, when my doctor writes it for me, it's a cream-based formulation. But when I've gotten in other countries, it's a gel-based formulation. And I can almost smell the alcohol in the formula. And that one is a lower percentage, right? So my one here is a cream as a 0.05, but the one I've gotten in other places, it's only a 0.25, but it's a gel. So that also makes a big difference. The consistency of your product whether it be a gel or a cream, and it makes a difference in your skincare as well, whether you're using a serum or a cream, right? One is heavier than the other, one is penetrating more than another, right? So a serum is going to penetrate your skin more than a moisturizer is going to usually penetrate your skin, depending on the active ingredients in that. Okay, so number 10 would be not adjusting for the season. So if you live in a place like me where we have multiple seasons, they change, then your skin's going to change. Even your skin can change honestly week to week, especially when you enter menopause like me. Your skin is just like all over the place based on your hormonal changes. Almost like when you're like a teenager, it's the same. So you have to really figure out for you, sometimes in the colder months, obviously for me, my skin's more sensitive. It can be like more chapped and irritated. So I have to scale back on the Retin-A. And then some people want to scale back on the Retin-A in the summer because you're out in the sun a lot more. So these are things that you have to consider based on your lifestyle and based on the climate as well as to what may be irritating your skin. So now I want to give you some tips to help alleviate some of the side effects that you might be having. Okay, so something called the sandwich method, which, there's always like they're calling something everything all the time. So basically the sandwich method would be just like kind of diluting down your Retin-A. So this is like what I've done in skincare forever. If something's too strong, you dilute it down. So whether you dilute your Retin-A down by putting on a serum or cream prior to the Retin-A and then kind of waiting for it to penetrate in and then applying your Retin-A over it, or you apply your Retin-A directly on your skin and then wait a little bit and apply something over it. So some people might respond differently to either application, so you can play with it. I tend to usually apply my Retin-A and then apply something a little bit later, but if I'm in a rush, honestly, I just apply it right over. So then say you want to use your Retin-A more, then you can use the sandwich method more and be able to use your Retin-A more. So for me, if I'm going to use my Retin-A on my skin and then immediately put on a moisturizer, I can use it more frequently because it's really diluting down the Retin-A. But if I do that too many days in a row, I still will get some dryness and flaking from it. So when I get dryness and flaking, sometimes I will do a light dermaplaning at home. So like those little face shaving devices. I would use that to gently take off the skin, and I wouldn't use Retin-A for a couple days. And in those couple days, I would do a lot of hydrating type of treatments. So whether it be like a sleep mask, so those creamy sleep masks, I've talked about this in other videos, not a sheet mask, though you can do that, but I like creamy masks. So a lot of times I don't have time. So I'll get a creamy mask, which is a sleep mask. I did another video on it. I'll post it, but they're creamy formulations that literally feel like a cream that are masks that you sleep with. So I like those because it's just quick and easy. Another tip is if you're going to get facials or get regular facials, which I hope you do, then you would want to stop your Retin-A prior. So it really depends on exactly what you're getting. And if you don't know what you're going to get, then I would just be safe and stop it a week prior to your treatment. If you have an esthetician and a plan and you kind of have a general idea of what you are getting, then you can stop it just 2 to 3 days prior. And for my clients, I really, really know a lot of their skin. They don't even really need to stop it. I just would tweak my protocol. But if they are coming in and I know they're coming in for a deeper peel now that the summer is ending, then I would probably have them stop it just a couple days before their deeper treatments. I also want to talk about ingredients, okay? Because there's so many products on the market. What ingredients I think you can look for to help you when you are shopping for products, when you're having skin irritations. Products or ingredients that you can look for. So again, when you're looking at an ingredient panel, you would want these ingredients closer up to the top ingredients. So that would mean there's a higher concentration of these ingredients as well. So hyaluronic acid, obviously it's a water binding molecule. It comes in a serum or a cream. So these are great, but a lot of times if you live in a drier environment, it depends on your skin, but a lot of times you have to use a hyaluronic acid and then seal it in with another product to prevent more dehydration of your skin. Because if the hyaluronic acid is pulling water to hydrate your skin, some people can have a dehydrating effect from that. So you want to seal that in with a heavier product or maybe even a hyaluronic cream. Ceramides are amazing. They come in a lot of different creams, and it'll say ceramides on it. Like I sell another thing you can look for are these new products that are coming out to help with your microbiome of your skin. I sell a lot of my own products, so it's hard for me to recommend unless like someone sends me something or I get it in my. I did the Allure Beauty Box, which I necessarily wouldn't recommend for people to get because the products are not customized enough for your skin type. If there was a day where you can like put down your skin type for the Allure Beauty Boxes, maybe, or if you have a good knowledge and understanding of ingredients, then you could. But a lot of the products I either don't use, or I have a 13-year-old daughter and 15-year-old son that are kind of into skincare, so I will give them some of the products. But otherwise, I don't know if it's really worth it. But like I sell a microbiome product specifically to help. So it has like probiotics, ceramides, mushroom extracts. So things like that are really healing for the skin. And depending on how irritated your skin is, you would want to pick, like a lighter weight to a heavier weight product. Glycerin is another one of my favorites. And honestly, you can buy glycerin on its own. It's very inexpensive and like cocktail it in. Okay. So I buy just regular glycerin. I don't know if you can see, but vegetable glycerin. Um, and I use it for some of my like the machines that I need to use it. But you can just buy that and honestly cocktail it into one of your creams that you have already when you feel like maybe you need a little bit more hydration. Niacinamide is another good one because it'll help with like any redness that you have as well. Different peptides, so the more the better. I just started trying this CosRx 6 peptide serum. Now this alone totally wouldn't be enough for me to hydrate my skin, but it is a nice serum and it's supposed to help your other products that you use penetrate more because basically peptides are messengers for your skin cells. So there's so many different peptides and they all signal your skin to do different things. So they're saying with this CosRx that this peptide serum is helping the other products you apply after it be more effective and penetrate better. So it makes sense because that's what peptides are really meant to do. Squalene is a lightweight oil that mimics the skin's natural oils. So it can be good if you tend to like get breakouts or clogged pores. Shea butter is a really nice hydrating ingredient. This makes me break out, so I tend to avoid usually products that have shea butter in them. But if you are not prone to getting breakouts, then shea butter is like a good, nice, soothing alternative. Centella asiatica, or Cica, it's sometimes called. That's becoming popular nowadays. So it soothes irritation, repairs the skin barrier. Urea hydrates and softens the skin. And then obviously an SPF during the day. And then an SPF, depending on the season too, is another like hot topic. So whether you go with a chemical SPF or a mineral. Now, chemicals, like, I always try and choose mineral-based sunblocks. So something that is like zinc and or titanium dioxide, right? But if the zinc is too high, it's going to be super, super non-hydrating. So for instance, I've always loved the My Shell products and you can get them like at health food stores and online and stuff, but they sell like a tinted, and I've sold them here too, because I don't really have my own sunblock for my own line. So they sell them like non-tinted and tinted, like in different colors. Okay, so these are good, I feel like in the summer or if you live in a place that's really sunny and hot because it's a 20% zinc. Okay, so the non-tinted one is nice because you can mix it like with any product that you have, but it's super, a 20% zinc is going to be like super mattifying. Okay, so I don't really want that if I'm like kind of irritated from my Retin-A to put something like that mattifying on. But maybe in the summer when you're not having issues with your Retin-A, these are really good sunblocks to have. This brand, okay, makes one that's supposed to be like more of a dewy finish. But this has sea buckthorn oil and hyaluronic, and sea buckthorn oil is another like amazing kind of healing ingredient. So this is 6% titanium and 6% zinc. So this is good. It's not as mattifying, but honestly, it's like a little bit tinted and the color is not going to like match everybody. But when you rub it down, it does tend to be like a little mattifying, but not obviously as much as a 20%. But I sell my own version, which is 5% titanium and 5% zinc. And it's amazing. So most of my clients use that and I use that. But if I'm going to be like at the beach, then I would use something with like a higher protection. And then as far as chemicals, I just tried a foundation that I really liked, the Yenza BBCC foundation. But it's like a SPF 40 or 50, but it's a chemical sunblock. But it does have a really nice, it has like superfoods in it, they call it. So it has amazing ingredients. But if you are really irritated, then a chemical sunblock might feel too stingy. Okay. And that's the other thing, speaking about ingredients. If you're so irritated that your skin is feeling stingy, if you grab a product that's more water based, so peptide, or even just like a hyaluronic serum that has a high water concentration, that might be really, really stingy on your skin. So you would then not use something like that until your skin barrier is more less compromised. So what I have been really liking that doesn't sting me, and so say for an inexpensive, you could do like a CeraVe night cream. I never really grab for this. It's very like basic, but glycerin is like in the top ingredient. So again, you could probably just buy that gigantic thing of glycerin and like add it to your moisturizer, as long as your moisturizer doesn't have like acids in it. But this Dermafax Recover X, I don't know if you can see it. So this was sent to me. It is pretty pricey, but you need like the tiniest amount, like literally like a pea size amount. And you can see like I've used a lot of it. And I probably would repurchase this because this is the only thing, because I've been really playing with my Retin-A a lot lately, is that hasn't really stung me when I put it on. But you literally need a tiny amount and it feels very, very like heavy and kind of gross when you put it on, but it doesn't make me break out, and I'm like 100% prone to breakouts. So I really like that. In my other top picks of creams that I just tend to like, and I'm 50 and experiment with my skin a lot, the LMS, and I got this in my Allure beauty box. I don't think I would buy this full price because it's like over $120, but the LMS Pro Marine Collagen cream, I really, really like this. So I have bought that, but through the Allure beauty box program, because you can get it like discounted. I sell like an ultra soy peptide. I like that a lot. And then this other brand, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Adipo, it's called. I got this like over a year and a half ago and started stocking it because it was different. And they say it's supposed to help regenerate your fat cells. And as you age and you lose fat in your face, I was like intrigued by that. So though I do not think at all it helps regenerate fat cells and gives like any plumping in that way, it does really make your skin look nice. I feel like it looks like healthier. And it's not that expensive, like $75, but it lasts a long time, even using it morning and night. But I tend to just use that maybe like in the morning. Okay, another thing that you can do if you're feeling irritated with your skin is feeling, if you're feeling irritated now, if your skin's feeling irritated, is combine your foundation, okay, with an oil, any kind of oil. So any foundation that you have, even if it's a mattifying foundation, honestly, and combining it with any type of facial oil that works for you. I mean, I sell one, it's a combination of different oils, but like argan oil, jojoba oil, those are safe for all skin types, and mix it in with your foundation so that your skin's not looking like as, you know, like cracking off, or that your foundation is like peeling. So that will really help in that dry phase that you go through with the Retin-A. So anyway, I hope this makes sense and these tips help you in some way if you're feeling irritated with your Retin-A. And you can obviously use these tips as well in the reverse if you feel like you want to intensify the results of your Retin-A, like you feel like it's not strong enough, but you can't get a stronger one or something, then you could do the opposite of what I'm recommending here. So then you would strip down your skin as much as possible, right? Like an acid cleanser, an acid toner, and then apply your Retin-A, and then just like a lightweight serum over it. And that's going to intensify the results, the penetration, I should say, of your Retin-A. So anyway, I hope these help. Message me down below if you have any specific questions about any other skincare things, specifically if you're over 40 or over 50 like me, or even older. Most of my clients are 60s, 70s. So I'd love to help you, give you tips, see what you're struggling with, and I will see you in the next one.